After the liberation of Kherson and the entire right bank, part of Ukraine's military forces were transferred near Bakhmut. According to the military, the situation there is steadily difficult. The Russians have been storming this city for 5th month, and at the cost of great sacrifices, slowly, sometimes very slowly, but advancing. The enemy's tactics are simple. In a war of this magnitude, there is a concept of how to consolidate, that is to take positions and establish a connection with the big land. It looks something like this: the enemy works with long-range systems and sends conditionally several companies to attack. When the first 100 men approach the Ukrainian positions through landings and debris, an attempt is made to take over the position. If even out of that 100 men only 10 remain, but they manage to take Ukrainian positions, then the Russians further send the next company to continue the onslaught, while the Ukrainian forces retreat, or are disorganized by the loss of a stronghold. Even 5 men are enough for them just to take positions and signal that the Ukrainian defenses have been knocked out in this area. This is the very same getting a foothold. Yes, you can repel attack after attack like that, but on the 100th time, I remind you that they have been storming Bakhmut for the 5th month. They will succeed in breaking through one of the strongholds and advancing. Western military schools do not view such tactics as anything serious. NATO can't even think of disposing of hundreds or thousands of their soldiers in this way. But the Russians are taking advantage of the servile silence of their mobilized herd. They built this tactic into almost the only effective tool. In a good way, the counterattack should be carried out by reconnaissance and long-range means of destruction. And speed, of course. The proverbial closing of cycles, that is, the time from the moment of detection of such an attack up to the moment of hitting the attackers with precision ammunition. Well, let us not forget the axiom that the line of defense will always be broken, and that in war static means imminent demise. The best countermeasure to finally frustrate their plans to storm and capture Bakhmut is a counteroffensive, north and south, combined with a massive fire attack on all their deployment points. But where and when to conduct this counterattack is not for me to judge. This is the competence of the Ukrainian General Staff. I am sure they understand it even better than me. Yes, the enemy's use of equipment is very limited, as Ukraine has destroyed and continues to destroy Russian logistics. That is why we see these meat waves storming Ukrainian positions in the forehead. But the enemy uses the advantages of bases in the temporarily occupied territories of the Donetsk and Luhansk regions and directly in Donetsk itself, thus providing a point-by-point supply of exactly infantry units. Yes, poorly equipped, untrained and with zero motivation. But submissive and numerous, but not infinite. In the meantime, we send greetings to Donetsk and watch the processes that are now happening there. Donetsk is next in line, but more on that later.